Hi everyone, for this week's discussion post, one example of a foodborne outbreak that I decided to focus on was the Chipotle foodborne outbreak in November of 2015. That December of 2015, the CDC reported 5 people were infected in 3 different states with a rare strain of STEC026 in Kansas, North Dakota, Oklahoma. Interviews were conducted with all of the 5 ill people who all reported eating at Chipotle Mexican Grill restaurants. The background, investigators used a whole genome sequencing. It was one of the most advanced laboratory techniques that they had at that time to get more information about the DNA fingerprints of the STEC026 bacteria causing illness in both outbreaks. The whole genome sequencing was performed on the STEC026 and isolated from 36 ill people from the first outbreak. This provided additional evidence that the illness was from the outside Pacific Northwest region, where the illness was related in Washington and Oregon. Chipotle Mexican Grill closed 43 restaurants in Washington, Oregon earlier November 2015 in response to the initial outbreak, and then all these restaurants were then reopened November 2015. Some of the strengths that they had for investigating this outbreak was the advanced laboratory technique. Having such advanced in technology, they were able to get specific detail on the strain with this piece of technology. And then one of their weakness was that the traceback protocol wasn't that efficient, or I didn't think it was comprehensive enough. When Mexican-style food is being assembled, it's kind of hard to trace back ingredients because that Mexican-style food has a lot of components, whether it's lettuce, tomato, chicken, rice, beans, sour cream. There's so many different things that go into it that it's hard to trace back. So one of the things, though, I will say that they did a good job to combat this was that they did over 2,500 testing of Chipotle foods to ensure the quality. They also followed all procedures to resolve this issue, and they did that by confirming that no employees in these restaurants were sickened from the incident, expanded testing of fresh produce, raw meat, dairy item prior to restocking restaurants, implemented additional safety procedures and audits in all of the 2,000 restaurants to ensure the most safe food standards were put in place. They worked very closely with federal, state, and local government agencies to ensure that they had all the ingredients were followed the guidelines of the state or county that they were in, and they replaced all ingredients in the closed restaurant. So they got rid of everything that could have caused an outbreak. They conducted additional deep cleaning and sanitization in all of the restaurants and will continue deep cleaning and sanitizing in accordance in all restaurants nationwide. As far as preventing the outbreak, no product of interest was identified. Even with definitive item to follow, the FDA traced back to their origins some widely distributed ingredients in any effort to identify a source of outbreak. Unfortunately, the distribution path did not lead to any ingredient of interest. So, kind of based on that, what I would do to prevent this would be by enforcing proper cleaning techniques at restaurants. It's kind of easy for an outbreak to happen at a restaurant if employees get lazy or don't follow proper cleaning measures within the guidelines and do it effectively. It could easily turn into an outbreak. I don't have any personal experiences. The only experience I have is working as Shands, and it's not really a food outbreak, but it's more so of looking at that cleaning habits. When we wipe down toys on the immunocompromised unit for pediatric care, if you don't clean off every toy for 2 minutes and let that alcohol wipe dry for a full 2 minutes, you haven't done anything, and it hasn't actually cleaned or killed any of the bacteria that could be found in that toy. And then if that's not properly done, and then you give it to another kid who has an immunocompromised system, it could cause an illness for them. And even though it's not related to foodborne illnesses, that's the only experience that I had, but I would love to hear about any of you guys who've worked in the food industry or have any specific experiences, positive or negative, about that. I'll be interested to read your watch your discussion post.